the game while you listen.
What's going on here?
This ragtag crew of adventurers is covering the problems of the average player.
Where should I begin?
Discussing the home brews, modules, and the latest content for all things D&D.
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
It's Chef Bolgg and the Pirate Captain's recipes for everything.
What you're feeling is so normal and perfectly natural.
With your host, the Pirate Captain.
Everybody loves me, and I don't know why. I'm an asshole. I really am. The Pirate Captain is a dick.
Chef Bolgg.
Let me take a couple steps back so I can, really get this point across.
It's bullshit!
And Loke the Bard.
Instead of making a deal with Cthulhu or, a greater devil, you found an imp who was willing to give you dark vision in exchange for a gallon of blood.
With a little mayhem, mischief, and a bit of bardic charisma, it's time for the show.
Well, that's right. We're back at it again for another fun-filled adventure. This is something new, unprecedented. We've never done this before. It's amazing. Bolgg, I'm surprised you're here, buddy. You're not one for new technologies. Just a bit ago, you were on the roof, and I'm not sure how to explain that.
I don't know. I'm just glad I'm wearing pants because you didn't tell me.
You're wearing pants?
See,
there's no camera below though.
Loke, I told you this is a specifically put your damn pants on scene. All right, that's what's going on with this right now. Put your damn pants on.
I got my apron.
I see that. You're out there looking flashy and ready to cook. And
yeah.
Here I am.
You always gotta be ready to cook. You don't know when you're gonna kill somebody.
You don't know when I'm gonna get my leg back either. How did you get that thing back again? This is the second time you've taken my leg.
I'm not naming any names, but maybe
it's the
a
Bard,
certain wizard.
The Bard did it, didn't he?
No, a certain wizard.
What's happening, everybody? It is the Pirate Captain here, along with me, bestest buddy Bolgg.
Hey, that's me.
And Loke the Bard. Yeah, it's no one cares. No one likes you. Your takes are bad. You're horrible. Everything about you sucks. Oh, this is Chef Bolgg and the Pirate Captain's recipes for everything. And don't forget our ever so lovely, without a picture in the background, Mr. Producer.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
He is the voice of reason in all of us and keeps us on track and does all our other behind the scenes stuff. This is Chef Bolgg and the Pirate Captain's recipes for everything. It is a podcast, and if you're watching this now, it is a video cast. Something we're going to be trying. We're going to try to do some live streams for you guys. It is a D&D podcast where we talk about the rules or situations, anything that's come up. It all starts right here. There's 1,001 D&D podcasts where they sit there and they play the game, and that's kind of boring and not as much fun. Here, we want to hear from you. You send in your questions. We've answered emails in the past, and that's what we do. We want to talk about the game and give our perspective on things. We've all DM'd, we've all played, we've all been somewhere in this game before, and that's where we bring our experiences in.
Yeah, now you get to look at our ugly mugs while we're talking.
It is. Well, you two are ugly. I, of course, am on my charisma. I roll through my natural charisma. That's how I evade things.
Take off your hat.
No. Nobody. We're not taking off any hats here. All hats stay on for the purposes, as do pants. Pants will stay on for this broadcast. Oh, it is a podcast, a vlogcast. However you are watching this, we appreciate you. Make sure you like, subscribe, wherever you are doing it, watching, hearing, listening, whatever you're doing. Make sure you like and subscribe. That lets us know that you enjoy this content and that you want us to do more. Oh, you can always go find us over on our social medias and stuff like that. It's the easiest thing to do. Right there, Chef Bolgg and the Pirate Captain's recipes for everything. Oh, there's my. We're not gonna scroll up on that. We're not scrolling back up on that.
Scary picture.
It's an old picture. That's back when we were all still together in Florida. Obviously, I am in a different room. That's why we're doing this a different way, and we just want to kind of keep the content going. So make sure you go find us everywhere. Chef Bolgg and the Pirate Captain's recipes for everything. You can email us bolgandpc@gmail.com. But it's just we love hearing from you guys. We have a couple super fans that we love. Shout out to Gabriel, bro. We appreciate you. Your constant words of encouragement make this a lot easier. But there are others out there. Norway. Did you guys know that Norway is like our biggest listener base right now outside of the U.S.? Oh. Like if you actually go in and look at the analytics from the episode, people.
So that would make it our second biggest.
The second
U.S.
biggest.
obviously is.
Obviously, but I just want to give Norway a chance to be big too.
Yeah, but we're not David Hasselhoff, where we're bigger overseas than we are.
He's huge in Germany. I mean, everybody's huge in Germany, but oh, good old Germans. The butt of everybody's jokes since
Americans are
the
huge
40s.
anywhere. That's because we like our processed foods.
Oh yeah, but that's besides the point.
Cook real food.
Buddy,
kill your enemies, cook them. That's real food.
I have a shirt that I love to wear, and it freaks a lot of people out. It says, the problem with people today is they don't drink from the skulls of their enemy anymore. And I love it. They don't drink blood from the skulls of their enemies. I love wearing that shirt. By the way, big shout out to our friends, the Red Dragon Workshop. Those guys, they do all of our miniatures. They do my miniatures. They've even helped ship them up here to Indiana, where I live right now. If you go over and message them on Facebook, tell them the idea, or if you go and you pull the idea from somewhere else, you said, hey, can you make this? The Red Dragon Workshop guys, they are the masters of 3D printing. It sucks that I won't be down there to go see them at PlayCon down in Largo, but those guys were great. Eventually, we're going to try and get them back on into this video live stream with us because they were great. I can't say enough good stuff about their miniatures. You can even have them build whole dungeon maps that are interactive. They light up. Their swivel walls. The swivel walls are still one of my favorite things that they do.
Walls that fall down if you know.
And Bolgg, I know you got it. Show it up, man. You got to show. Where's the miniature that they printed for you?
I gotta go get it. Give me a second.
Okay. Well, while he's doing that, we'll start trying to get into it. You got to see this thing. It's awesome. Well, while he's going to do that, he took his hat off. He broke the rule. While he's doing that, we're going to go ahead and get into today's topic. We're going to take a break from talking about 6th edition stuff. We've done that quite a bit over the last. I want to give it some time for it to swelter out. I'm pretty sure Wizards has put us on a hit list of don't take comments from these guys, because we put them on full blast on the last episode. I am still upset with them. I've given them enough benefit of the doubt, but it's done over. Oh, you got it? Oh, you put on a different hat now. You broke their hat rule. I'm done. I'm done giving Wizards the benefit of the doubt on this one. They really do not like the player, and
Chef's hat was uncomfortable. But
I can imagine that's it's probably going to be pretty hard. It's over on our. Yeah, it's hard to see with the feather of it, but you guys can go check it out on our Facebook. It's really worth it. Those guys did an amazing job on that guy. Just let them know that Chef Bolgg and the Pirate Captain sent you, and Logue too, if you want to be charged double. But I'm done giving Wizards the benefit of the doubt. I want to see some more of this play test. Hopefully, there are the changes to the Bard that they're reverting back, and there's actually a lot more people than I thought that are kind of excited that the Bard's going back the way of 5e, and I hate that. Not the whole. Go for it.
The Bard's gone back the way of the power gamer. They like it because it's even more powerful now.
It doesn't need the Bard is losing what makes it the Bard, which is the buff class. It's there to support you, and it's losing that support feel to it, and I really can't stand that. So in World of Warcraft, they broke the Holy Trinity. The World of Warcraft has officially broke the Holy Trinity in the DPS, the healer, and the tank. Now there's a 4 spec, and I'm hoping that there's going to be more specs like this. And granted, Final Fantasy 14 has had this for a long time, and I think Final Fantasy 14 did it great. They had the Bard already in there, and the Bard's idea is to buff everybody else. And that's it. They don't do a whole lot of damage. They're there to buff. And so the augmentation evoker is the new thing, and it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. It does damage in the way that it buffs other people's damage. Their damage gets calculated into its damage. So you can't see it on the meters right now. You have to go do some extra work, and you'll see. And that's great, because now people are like, man, this is awesome. A class they're here to buff everybody, make them feel good. And that's great. And that's what the Bard should do. But right now the Bard is now going back the way of, I can do what you can do, but better, and sucks to suck. So why are we even bothering with these other classes?
Well, yeah, the new Bard's just a new type of wizard. Musical wizard instead. Go ahead.
The Bard is supposed to be a support class. The problem is that it's they're going the jack of all trades thing, but forgetting the second half of that, whereas master of none. So it's fine if you want to make a jack of all trades class, but you can't have them be more powerful than the actual class they're trying to take over.
I don't mind if weren't a jack of all trades, but they were a master of something. Like if they were a master, like if let's just use the current 5e because they're still doing obviously the 6e stuff. Let's do the current 5e stuff. And this isn't one of my normal I hate bards rants. This is me trying to actually save the bard and me actually like it. And we weren't even planning on talking about bards, but I was kind of thinking about last episode. So you have the College of Swords. Let's just use those. I think it's a really good one. The College of Swords essentially eliminates why you would want to be a fighter, which I think the fighter is a great class. It's a great learner class. People say, oh, it's boring. I think that you're not playing the fighter right. You're not giving your character enough of a backstory. You're probably just playing it as I come in here, I do the damage, the game's over. You're not thinking about what it brings to the table. Now you do it with a bard. The bard has all these abilities that the fighter does. It's all got all the defenses and it can fight on the front lines. But they stop being what a bard is, which is the idea of, hey, they're storytellers, they're musicians, they're dancers, they're entertainers. That's the thing, is that they're losing their entertaining feat just so they can go in and be damage dealers and fighters and tanks and things like that. And it's like, well, so why am I playing these other classes?
Well, and Sword Bard really steps on the toes of things like the swashbuckler rogue.
Yes. Because which sucks, because I think the swashbuckler rogue is still absolutely one of my favorite rogues. The fact that what it can do, and they're actually, I think I saw that they were removing the feat or the ability, the one that makes it to where you use your charisma modifier to add to your defense. There's that funny rule that I love, that it's how I took on the whole ship by myself and walked away unscathed. You guys don't like that, but I like that. That's like one of my favorite stories.
It even like kind of steps on the Kinsei monk's toes, because it almost acts as a better weapon master than the Kinsei.
I honestly think that the Kinsei monk needed to be changed anyway. It's kind of a lame ass monk. Like you're already taking you're already taking away what makes, damn it, Discord. You're already taking away what makes monks are already needed to fix anyway. And the Kinsei monk was just like, here, you're already really good with weapons. Now I'm extra good with weapons. There was nothing that really made them kind of like stand out. The way the open hand.
I liked the playtest where it didn't limit what weapons you could use. Because I created a Kinsei monk that used a greatsword, and the thought process, he just started spinning, not using his full strength, but instead using his dexterous body and the spinning motion to get that weapon moving and causing damage.
I think that's something that
Zelda tornado attack.
Yeah, I think the monks always needed to have that. I think that needs to be something in there, like whatever weapon that they hold, they can use either dex or strength. It's kind of like it needs to be given that property in that way, because when you think of them, you think it's not supposed to be monastery monk. It's supposed to be more like Shaolin monks, is the way the class is designed. And I think that if you actually gave it the ability to pick up weapons and just be like, obviously it can't master it the way a Hexblade Warlock would be able to, like, hey, this is my packed weapon now, I'm good with it. But the weapons that they trained in the past, like let's say it is a great sword, then they should be able to use their dex as the modifier, because they should be nimble enough with it. Granted, it's kind of weird to think dex and attack strength.
I also think that two classes should get improvised weapon from the drop, and that's the monk and the fighter. The fighter.
Yeah, the fighter should. I would not disagree with you. I honestly think that's. I don't think does the improvised weapon feat give you any stat bonuses? I don't think it does it? Mr. Producer, can you find that one for me?
Yeah.
Well, improvised weapon normally gives you the damage of your strength mod if you don't have the feat.
It's honestly,
if you do have the feat, it adds like a D4 on top of that.
It's a lame feat on its own, regardless. Yeah. Like it really, I think.
Although they've changed it in one of the 6E play. I don't remember what the play test.
Yeah,
it's a completely different thing now.
I just want the 5e version, Mr. Producer, if you find that. Just see if it gives us a stat bonus. I don't think it does.
You can add your proficiency bonus to the attack roll.
So it doesn't +1 to any stats though, like +1 to your dex, +1 to your strength. Like, some feats will actually say you get +1.
Yeah, it's a full feat. I don't think it's a half feat.
Okay. So that right there, like if improvised weapons were to give you, and we have gotten so far off topic about the bards, but we're gonna swing back to that. But I think that if you, with these improvised weapons, to answer this question real quick and then get back to the bards, when you, depending upon what you pick up, you and your DM have to determine what the weapon is. So let's say you break a leg off a table, that becomes a club, or you shatter a glass bottle, then it does the damage of a dagger. Like, because all that's saying
both
is
still a D4, but if you were to pick up a broom, now you've got a quarterstaff.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I think that I think would
pick up a stool, you've got a mace, you know.
Yeah, something like that I think would make that feat just a little bit better. Like if you're actually using an improvised weapon, because it's kind of garbage the way it is. Now back to these bards. And I'm not getting away from you. You're not getting out of this. You're not getting away from this thing scot-free. It's I want the bard to be a great class, and I think it can be, but the moment that it does what everybody else does, it just ruins it. It really does. It ruins it for everybody that, let's say you are the wizard, and now you're walking in, and now that guy's going to cast fireball. Well, why did I even play a wizard? And nobody's playing the bard like they should be playing the bard. There's no dancing, there's no music, no writing poems. And I know that we've had our players and people that have been on the cast with us that have actually played the bard the way they have, the way they're supposed to be. But the idea is, when you hear about everybody else telling their stories of what they're playing, that they're playing it the way they would play other classes. They're not playing a bard anymore.
Well, it's also a bit of just player time and player economy in terms of combat, because you can't have the bard sit down and start describing what they're going to be playing, what they're going to be dancing, what they're going to be saying as they're casting their spells. That just takes too much time. It's just much easier to go, I cast fireball, here's 8d6.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's fine if you establish
comes from them all using the same spell list.
Yeah.
Like, if bards, like, they used to have their own spell list, and he was singing the Song of Fire, was the spell he was casting was the Song of Fire and not Fireball.
Yeah, that would. I used to do that though with my bards. I actually used to name. I used to create songs. I had one bard. He was the Russian bard, the one that started "Don't Be Bitch," and I would actually cast spells, and I had my spells actually written out on the sheet of paper. That there was like the concerto of fire and stuff like that. Kind of like I used a lot of inspiration from the Legend of Zelda games from the Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
And I used that as inspiration to make these spells do what they did. And that's what makes them unique. And that'd be great if they had their own spell list again. And I get it, that's going to bring out some extra paper. What are they going to do? Charge us an extra $2 for this new book that's already going to be what, $50? I guarantee the 60 is going to be $50.
They've increased the book prices.
Yeah, it's this new 6th edition. You're going to spend probably about $200 to get the monster manual, the DM's guide, and if it's going the way it's going, which yet again they want to make it to where it's 5e compatible, which doesn't make any sense. But if you do all, like I said, the 3 things, it's probably going to cost you around $200. Well, but
I think that they're focusing too much on combat with the bard. The bard should be should use their charisma to maybe negate combat. I mean, I think I've brought it up before, but there's an ancient Norse skald tradition called flighting, which was basically a rap battle between two skalds, and whoever won got the credit. But people used to actually settle disputes this way. Literal rap battles to go.
Everybody's seen 8 Mile, bro.
But it's like a little rap battle. You slept with my wife. Oh yeah, I slept with her. I was better. I got dibs on her now.
Yeah,
and then they'd have to deal with it or take up the axe. And
we're not sending you to rap battle on our behalf. There, I'm just gonna go there. Bolgg Shady.
No, I'm not rapping. I'm not a bard. I'll pick up the axe.
I do not trust our own bard to win that battle for us either. I just, it doesn't. 60 is taken away from what it was actually going in the right direction. I thought it was actually really good in the idea that they were going to make bards kind of like be bards again. Like what do you bring to the entertainment value? And I think a lot of it too with this current edition with the actual 5e, not 60. Despite what Wizards is trying to tell you, where 60 is not, it's 5e, it's not 60, it's 60, because you're making these major changes to these classes and stuff. But the 5e one, the Song of Rest, is legitimately garbage. It is a garbage ability because most people, the short long rest system needs modified, and I think if you fix that, you'd make the Song of Rest a lot better. Or I think if you change that song while you're
Make Song of Rest an in combat thing.
yeah, something like
give it a passive D6 of healing every round while the song is going, but you can only do the song.
So yeah, that wouldn't be a bad trade-off. I actually think that if you equal time to your proficiency modifier, you can roll and you roll a D50 or a D100.
Make it equal to your inspiration die.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. Inspiration die, and you give a chance for a spellcaster to or somebody else to not use a charge of whatever it is. So let's say if you are a wizard, you won't burn a spell slot, or if you're a fighter,
giving the bards more continuous features like a song of battle, a song of defense, a song of whatever, something they play continuously throughout the combat. And maybe builds up each round. Like the first round, it gives you a +1. The second round, it gives you a +2.
Would that just be like a passive concentration spell?
Yeah, like a concentration type thing where if they hit the bard, obviously he's going to lose his concentration and have to start over again or do a different song. But it's something that continues round to round because that's the way a bard music would work.
Yeah. So there's a game. A game called Warframe. I don't know if anybody knows it, but there's
everybody
a Warframe
knows Warframe.
There's a Warframe in there called Octavia. Octavia is basically a bard because
Octavia's an awesome damage dealer too. So
you have 3 beats that you can play and layer, and they give different buffs. And I say if you want to make the bard unique, let them have multiple concentration spells because they're able to concentrate on lyrics, on playing, and on dancing all at the same time. And as a musician who's been in marching band and had to do that shit, yeah, we can do it.
How about a guy that's
difficult, but we can do it.
I mean, I was in concert band and I like concert band a lot more than I like marching band, and I could say the same thing. It just invigorates you. I think that's the start. Like, and then get away from making them frontline characters. I think that's the big thing. You can make them frontline character. The idea of a frontline bard kind of like is oxymoronic, if you ask me. And I just think it's the idea of a bard being on the front line, sitting there with everybody being like, yeah, look, I'm up here punching it. And it's like, why are you up here, bro? There are other things that should be doing this job a lot better. But if you're doing the same job that they are, but better, then why did we bring a paladin? Why did we bring the fighter? Why did we bring the barbarian? Why didn't we just make a whole party of bards? And yeah, I know there's stories because you guys have argued this in the past. Well, what if the story calls for it? I don't. Why? What story calls for the Backstreet Boys to go on? Actually, that'd probably be a pretty good movie now that I think about it. Watch the Backstreet Boys come in and like.
Well, it's literally
it's them in NSYNC.
Play out the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
It is the Blues Brothers.
It's Blues Brothers. It's what is that Disney movie about the panda? I know there's a boy band at the very end who helps them beat the kaiju red panda. Like
Turning Red.
Turning Red, yeah.
So yeah, like that would be. I don't know. I like what you guys have said. I think that the bard, like something that these continuous buffs and like they get different songs, or maybe it's like a song that you can change. Like at every so many levels, you get to learn a new song. That the first one and it goes up with levels, kind of like a cantrip almost, but it's not. Like at 6th level, every time you learn a new song, the modifier goes up.
And you can still have other spells because that are not concentration, because if you have the concentration going, you're playing your song, you're doing your dance, whatever, but the other could just be a little flourish. You play a small solo, you do a little kick in your dance.
But this will actually tie into more like what Loke was saying about having like a bard only spell list. And these spells are bard only. They're songs, or they're, like you're saying, little flourishes that you can do within it that allow like those are the spells like the firebolt or heal,
blazing solo is a firebolt.
Or even like a song of the solo of inspiration, and it gives you bless. So
I think most of those songs should, instead of being like damaging like fire lightning songs or whatever, Most of the songs should probably be like status
So
effects.
yeah,
Yeah, that would be
as
really
support
cool.
spells.
Blind, weaken,
Yeah.
slow.
I mean, that would be honestly, that would be a bard class that I'd be excited to play again. Like something that just brings that. And yeah, you can come out here and argue, oh, well, you could play that right now. Just use these spells. I get that, but
And
it's
most
not
of
the
their
same.
most of their damage spells should be either psychic or thunder. That's it.
I do like the fact that they went ahead and made Vicious Mockery Bard only. I'm glad that they made Eldritch Blast Warlock only, and now I'm glad that that one is also like there's just certain spells that I think that are iconic.
Yeah,
but hey, this wasn't even a planned topic. We had other topics, and I just I really
we're on 6E again. It's like
it's the bane of everything, man.
Spine in your.
I don't like the fact that it's I don't like the fact that it's doing this, man. Like the bard should be the bard should be a bard. The bard shouldn't be a wizard. The bard shouldn't be a fighter. The bard shouldn't be anybody else but the bard.
Well, the new 6E bard can now be your cleric or your druid as well, because it gets to choose which of the spell lists it gets, and it's no longer limited to illusion and
that's
enchantment.
And it kind of annoyed me when we first saw it, but I kind of now enjoy the fact that Elgin doesn't use magic in the D&D movie. He's a bard.
Elgin? Nah, Elgin, that's
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine.
Yeah. He's what a bard should be, not just doing all the stuff that everybody else can do. He's just the planner, thinker, charismatic face.
I thought he was more of a mastermind.
Well, that's what we had said in the past.
Yeah, he's
the way that with the 5e rules work, he would be more of a mastermind rogue than an actual bard, because he doesn't cast any spells like a bard in 5e.
But he didn't even do a whole lot. Like his inspiration was kind of like bunk too. Like he didn't really like he was not very inspiring. Like his pep talk sucked. I did like his I did like his never give up attitude. I'll give you that. That was kind of definitely bard like, but yeah, I don't know. I still see him as a mastermind rogue. Because I and you're right. I'm probably looking at this from like a 5e version, but I think he's a mastermind rogue. Like he was like, I wouldn't say controlling the things from the shadows. He was just very good at just like manipulating things that he wanted. So that's just my personal opinion. It doesn't have to be wrong. But enough about
it's always wrong.
It's not always wrong. You're wrong more often than you think, and you don't even know it. That's the sad part. That's what
I don't know. You're the only person sitting here who doesn't think we should be able to get magical dark vision.
There's a reason for not having magical dark vision. How the hell are you getting magical? You know what? We're not even getting on that. I do want to
give it out like candy in 6e. So.
Yeah, no, they don't. I'm just gonna go ahead. If I'm the DM of the 6e version, we're
the
not.
Shadow Monk now gets it. The Sorcerer gets it.
Yeah, I'm already done with y'all. I do want to.
Bard probably has a Song of Sight. He gets it.
I hate you guys so much some days. I really do. I really do. I do want to talk about this poll right here. If you guys are looking on the screen real quick. Somebody over on the D&D Dungeons and Dragons. This is where we get some of our content. These are the questions we look through here. And I thought this was a really fun question because we've answered this question for players in the past, and it's not the question that they ask. The question that they ask is, if you could only own one of these books, which one would you choose to have? She's like, you can find it all online. Let's just say you actually want to own the book, and that's where I'm at. And the choices that she gave you were, they gave you were Volo's Guide to Monsters, Mordecai's Tome of Foes, the Monster Manual, and Monsters of the Multiverse. Now, I'm going to tell you, obviously, the Monster Manual like blew everybody out. I'm surprised Monsters of the Multiverse did better than Mordecai's, but I think that's just preference of playing a warlock that had summon demon. Because without even
looking it up, I would be willing to bet that these percentages match the number of monster count for each of those books.
I would I would agree with you on that because obviously
the Dungeon Master's Guide's got like 400 monsters. The Multiverse probably has 200. Mordenkainen's got 100, and then Volo's got 50 or something. Like I said, that's without. I don't know the actual count. I'm just using those as examples, but It's probably something along those lines.
Hey, Mr. Producer, can you see if you can find an answer how many each of those books has how many monsters each of those books have? If you need them, if you need the list, we'll give it back to you. So, and that's probably you're probably right on that. But as a DM, I like a lot of demons in my stuff. Like I really, I think the idea of fighting demons, like I've been playing a lot of Skyrim again lately, and fighting the Daedra is like one of my favorite things to do. I really, really enjoy just going in and fighting Dramoras and stuff like that. Like it's actually one of my favorite spells too. But as a warlock, when I was playing one of my favorite warlocks, my Hexblade warlock, I also used the summon demon spell, so that way I could have I could have something tank for me while I was running around fighting it, and it actually played into the story, my character story. Like I had a demon skull that I carried around. It was kind of like my part of my pact, and I could summon the physical manifestation of this demon. And Mordekai's had really good demons in it. And that's why I would say Mordekai's. But as as a player, or if you're a new time DM coming into this, let's say, because there's a lot of people that are starting to DM more and more. It's crazy. I'm hearing actually a lot more and seeing a lot more. Hey, I'm going to try DMing for the first time. Go for it, bud. You'll actually enjoy it. Being a DM is actually a lot of fun. Playing's really good. Being a DM, you're going to realize you have a lot of fun. But if I was a DM trying to tell first time DMers, obviously you're gonna have the Dungeon Master Guide. You're gonna in 9 times out of 10 you're gonna have the Monster Manual. But if I had to pick another book outside of the Monster Manual, I'd honestly pick Mordekai's Tome of Foes. I think that there's some really cool monsters in there. A bunch of great demons is my big one.
If you like the changes that Monsters of the Multiverse makes, is going to be the deal breaker if that's your choice or not. Monsters of Multiverse does some things that help the DM. Like for example, some monster abilities that were spells before are now monster abilities, so they can't just be counterspelled.
Right.
Little things like that make the DM's life easier, that may make the player's life harder.
I mean,
if you like those changes,
you're one guy against anywhere between 4 to in the upwards of 8. We've seen 8 at a table. I think you need all the benefit that you can get. So I think that Monsters of the Multiverse wouldn't be a bad one. But if you had to pick one book,
but it's one of those things. If you don't like those changes, you will never pick that book.
Yeah.
Well, also Monsters of the Multiverse has a lot of overlap with Volo's and Mordenkainen's in terms of monsters. I think most of the monsters from those 2 books are in that one book.
You got the answer for us, Mr. Producer?
Yeah, the Monster Manual has more than 400. The Monsters of the Multiverse has more than 250. Volo's has 100 new, and Mordekai's has 140 new.
Okay, so Volo's actually has more than Mordekai's. So you're very close to your theory. The only 2 that are switched, but they're very close in percentage, is like 2 to 4% on that one, on that thing. So thanks, Mr. Producer. So I could see that. I think that Mordekai's is more like otherworldly and stuff like that, and I kind of like those. Like I think fighting, because you see a lot, especially early DMs, they want to use the basics, goblins, skeletons, and dragons. Granted, I honestly, at the last time I can't even think the last time I fought a dragon in D&D. It's been a hot minute. Like granted, it's in the name, Dungeons and Dragons, but I've never, like, dragons aren't that common. I don't think
I throw them in about once a campaign, maybe twice.
Yeah, and that's about it. Like that's fair
average
enough.
campaign of a year, so that's once a year, twice a year.
I think that's reasonable though. That's reasonable to have that. So, but people use that. But if you're trying to change it up, let's say that you want your big bad to be otherworldly, like the warlocks are great villains. They really are, because they're dealing with otherworldly stuff. They're trying to sell other people out for their own power. So I think Mordekai's is like, if you're looking for a story that deals with that, I think Mordekai's Tome of Foes is great. It's a great book. I want to eliminate using the Monster Manual, because obviously you're going to have the Monster Manual. If you're going to
because that you need that for basic, okay, next campaign or the campaign after or the campaign after that. It's the one that's going to give you the most variety of what you can pull.
When I found out my little brother my littlest brother, he was starting to play D&D when I bought him every book that he needed. And I've said in the past that I bought him Player's Handbook, Xanathar's, and Tasha's. Great three. But I also bought him the stuff to DM as well. And I bought him the DM's Guide and the Monster Manual. So I bought him $5. And I think that was actually, I got a deal. I think I got a deal for it. You're good, Mr. Producer. I appreciate the heads up. I got a great deal, and I think I got them for like $180. Got all 5 books, got them set up to play. But I think that if I personally, yeah, I'd have to pick that one. Let's say Bolgg. If you had to pick a book, a monster book for the player, what would you pick?
Other than the Monster Manual?
Other than the Monster Manual, because that one's like a given. Like you should have a Monster Manual. It's really good. It's very lacking in demons. So if you want to play a warlock, because you as a warlock can take the summon demon spell, and wizards can too. But you're limited on what the Monster Manual has. Like I said, but that's just personal preference.
So I would probably go with Volos.
Really?
Though
Why?
I really enjoyed Fizzbands, but again,
Fizzbands was good.
Dragons they're supposed to be more of a legendary enemy you only encounter once and twice or a campaign. Volos just had a lot of options for monsters that were already there, but needed some more variety. Like there's a bunch of different orcs in there that I really like. There's different ghosts and ghouls and demons and stuff that adds more variety to what was already in the Monster Manual. I liked Mordenkainen's. I liked, Fizzbands, but Volos is one I just go back to whenever I want to pull something out that I haven't used in a while. Plus, Volos has the Nilbog, and you cannot get more fun than a Nilbog. One of my favorite enemies to run because they're just a ton of fun.
A Nilbog, Nobogg,
Nilbog, Goblin Backwards.
Oh, Goblin Backwards. Nilg. Oh, God bless it. Nilg. NIL, Gob.
But yeah,
Nilbogs are goblins possessed by trickster spirits due to condition known as Nilbogism.
I've never
pranksters
heard
and impious creatures capable of affecting the behavior of those surrounding them and sowing chaos among allies and enemies alike.
Thank you. What? No, these little. That's just a regular goblin, bro. I have created.
It is a ton of fun to play because goblins are little cowardly pieces of shit, but Nilbogs, you can make them little fun leprechaun-esque, like Leprechaun from the movie Leprechaun. Little green shits. It's so much fun.
I resent that. I think goblins are very brave. I have played some amazingly brave goblins.
Plus, they're hard to kill. They are surprisingly hard to kill. And yeah, that's from Volos as a Nilbog, and I really, really enjoy that.
Yeah, and which book you use also it's gonna depend on what campaign you want to run. If you're running like a pseudo Dragonlance, War of the Dragons,
Fizzbands.
You want Fizzbands because it's gonna give you more dragons that you can pull from, of greater variety. And it's going to gives you classes related to dragons as well, and Dragon Rider and those kind of things. Whereas if you're the demons, maybe you want to go with
because it added I want to say 20 some odd different demons that were in there, and they were really cool demons. Like some of them were like hulking monster like demons, and some of them were just more like goblins and stuff, or like imps and stuff like that, which you definitely don't get magical dark vision from imps. It's impossible. Nobody would ever make that argument. That's a dumb argument. Anybody who makes that argument is kind of stupid. I'm just gonna throw that one out there. Just a little fun fact. It's fun, but I don't.
Contract is a contract.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't. It's just that would be a dumb argument, and anybody who makes that argument is clearly wrong on all counts. I hate you so much.
I live in your head.
Oh, you do, rent free. I hate that some days. But I see what you're saying. Like, I guess you have to ask yourself, what kind of campaign do you want to run? Because there's. And we've definitely talked about this in the past. When you start looking at some of these books, you want to buy you want to verify whether the book is for the player or for the DM, because there is a separate there's a separation in the books. If you look at Tasha's and Xanthar's, those are more for the player. You know, they're adding more to the classes. You're gonna have you'd eventually probably have them as a DM because you want to be able to reference out of them.
So Wizards is kind of trending away from that to where they're trying to make the books for everyone to increase their sales, probably.
But
like Fizzbands, for example, they have the Dragon Warden Ranger class in there. They have a couple others I'm forgetting off. Dragon Warden Ranger was the cool one. I can't remember what the other ones were. Where your beast companion as a ranger is a dragon, and it goes up in size as you go up in level to the point where you're riding a dragon by 20th level. But it had a couple other classes in there as well. But then it also had for the DM, the dragon societies, the dragon rules, the gem dragons, and the stuff that was not in the monster manual dragon wise, and brought all that into 5e as well. So they kind of tried to do it for a little bit for everyone, which is not the way a lot of D&D historically has been designed, because they wanted to keep a lot of that monster information behind the DM screen. They didn't want to put it in a book for players, because then the players abuse that.
They still abuse it regardless.
Yeah.
We've talked about this in the past. We know Nigglewort is very notorious for using his player knowledge for his characters and stuff like that. And he'll even, and and I love him to death, but some days you just look at him and go, you realize you're ruining this for everybody else. When you come out there and go, well, it's a bugbear or something like that. And you're like, well, it's got to be immune to this. You're like, shut the hell up. Let us figure this out ourselves. Because you're ruining some of it. I think that there should be a lot more kept behind the screen. And if you start breaking away from these books and keeping them there, granted, you're the DM. And the best part about being as a DM is it's your world. And everybody else is just living in it. And if you all of a sudden, let's say you're fighting a bugbear, but this one's immune to silver, or is immune to everything but silver, you know, definitely jack with the players that are using their player knowledge. I highly recommend that, because it's just kind of cheating. It really is. But now all of a sudden it's immune to everything but magic because it's a vampire bugbear or something. It's fun like that. But if you start mixing the player and the DM stuff, which I think is honestly less of a cash grab, because now you only have to buy one book versus buying two books. I think it's a mistake. I really think that they need to keep the books separate, and you can pick the ones that you want, the ones that you think are the best, and to fit and tailor your campaign. So
if they would have taken the 4 classes that they had in Fizzbands for dragon based classes, I think they've got 1 or 2 coming in the new giant book that's coming out, Bigsby's something of giants. It comes out next month, whatever it is. So they got 1 or 2 classes in that, and then 1 or 2 classes in Sword Coast or what. And they took all those and put them out as a player supplement, as one book. That book would sell like hotcakes. Where all these players are picking up 12 new classes, 12 new subclasses, in one book, and then you take all the monsters of it, put it in a second book. And now you have the Monster Manual 2, with 200.
Yeah. Monster Manual 2, back with more monsters.
Yeah. It's Bigby Presents Glory of the Giants, launching August 15th.
Oh, man. Pumped it.
And now I know from, videos and behind, we're not getting advanced copies from Wizards of the Coast, so we don't know exactly what's in it. But, some of the playtest classes for that Bigsby's didn't make it into the book. They tested poorly, but they didn't put replacements or edited versions. So you're getting like 1 class, maybe 2 in this book.
I think that's dumb, because now, like, hopefully nobody's buying it for the one class. Like, at that point, just and I'm not telling you to pull that offline, because obviously people worked hard on this one, quote unquote.
I believe the one class is the giant based barbarian, where you're Hulk. You get bigger when you get angry.
I mean, Yeah, man, that's some real creativity there, Wizards.
Yeah.
This is why they really just need to do and make a 6th edition, because like they're burning themselves out on running things. They're like, it's like they're throwing darts at the wall, and they're like, let's make a barbarian that grows big and takes less damage. Good idea. Roll with it. And you're like, okay. Which I don't know where they used to, like, I really would love to see where they pulled ideas from, like how they design early classes and stuff like that. Maybe this is why they need to go to the prestige class and make more benefits to getting higher levels and stuff like that, instead of trying to recreate a new class every time they put out a book.
Like, how many of them came from popular media? Like, the Ranger was an Aragorn type Ranger, not really the Beastmaster in the beginning. And
yeah.
Well, one of the biggest complaints is that campaigns are ending at what, level 12 on average? I think it's the current average.
Yeah, but that's okay.
But part of that is because Wizards doesn't have the high level support out there.
I would
If Wizards put out a book, Epic Level Campaigns or DM's Guide to Epic Level Campaigns, and DM or Monster Man, Epic Level Monster Manual, as a sequel, that gave the help for the, this is how you build a campaign for characters levels 12 to 20.
Yeah.
And gave, this is the kind of events you need to do. This is the here's the monsters that can actually challenge a party of level 12s and still be fun.
Yeah, because
if they put that kind of work in it, that would sell. Because that's one of the biggest complaints is you have to end at 12, because by the time you're level 12, you can take a CR 30 as a party.
Yeah, but I guess that's a little bit on and not to give Wizards the benefit of the doubt on this one, because I already have my issues and stuff like that. But I would honestly argue that's a little bit on the DM's fault too, because you have to figure out, and it's hard. And I'm not trying to put DMs on the spot like this, but it's hard to do that power scaling stuff that you got. But trying to wrap your head all up in that is kind of.
Well, I mean, with Bolgg's campaigns, he sets it for like deadly encounters he has since campaign 2 or something like that. And even now he's setting it for a level higher than we are, and we're still
that goes back to that goes back to the CR rating not translating correcely.
Right. That's something that they can fix in this new DM edition. Then that's something that
we use the math for a deadly encounter for your most basic encounter, and I'm calculating that the party is all a level higher than they actually are, in order for them just not to walk right over the challenges.
Maybe maybe instead of trying to put out a new class with every book and stuff, that's where they actually work back to, is like, hey, how can we make it to where these monsters aren't getting their asses stomped by like a party of 3 level 12 players? And I honestly,
you put out things like the Paladin in Hell campaign setting or whatever, where where you take like the Inverness concept, where your party's diving into one of the hells and fighting these high level demons and high level, where it's a actual difficult challenge for a party of normal size of 4 to 8 players of level 12 and higher, where they're not just you saved the whole, your town guards are CR 1/4. You now could run this whole town if you tried to fight,
Yeah.
You could take out a whole city of these CR 1/4 guards. They're not a challenge to you anymore at level 12.
It's got to be something, because think about it. And I was talking about playing Skyrim earlier. It's got to be like something like Skyrim, where things in the world scale with the players a little bit. Because the guards, like even the monsters in just the normal stuff you would find in Skyrim, as you level up, things get tougher and tougher. You don't find as many regular bandits. Now you're finding bandit outlaws or bandit chiefs and stuff like that. And so you're trying to, there's got to be a better way to scale it. I'd love to tell you I have the answer on it, other than adding more health. But the CR system, that's honestly something that I think, because I haven't seen a whole lot in these play tests that actually has made it to where the DM, like they're not really doing a whole lot for the DMs yet. Maybe it's coming in a later playtest.
Yeah,
They're
because
trying to fix the classes and stuff.
the ones that have come out have been the player's handbook playtest. They have not put out the new DM guide playtest information yet.
Yeah.
So maybe they are fixing stuff in that one.
That would be it. And maybe instead of, like I said, trying to put out, trying to mix two books.
But you're going to have the same backwards compatibility stuff, though.
Yeah, they got to stop. They need to get off that idea.
Yeah, because if they stick to that idea, they can't change the CR system, because the CR system is already in the monster manuals. It's already in each of the published adventures, all the publishers' supplemental books.
But do you think that, I don't know, like I guess if they like, do you think that's like a big enough player complaint that shouldn't be something that they're looking at? Like like I said, Wizards, if you're listening to this for any reason whatsoever, you need to quit calling it 5th edition, like a remake of 5th. Just make a whole new edition. It's okay. People are going to buy your stuff unless it's like $200 for 2 books, which going the way.
Are you guys planning on buying the new books?
Maybe. And the only reason I say maybe is if it's going to be a 5e reboot, I'm not buying a new book. Like there's no point. I would rather just play with what I already have and just work with that. There's no reason to try this new stuff if I already know the old stuff works well.
It will 100% depend on the changes if I deem them being worth shelling out the money for it.
Yeah, and it's also going to depend, like, who's at your table. Are they going to?
No.
Is the whole group at your table going to want to shell out for the new? Like I said, I'm not going to allow at my table to mix the old book with the new book.
I'm going to argue with that one. I don't think it's up to the table. I think it's up to the DM.
Right. But I'm saying, I'm at my table. I'm not going to allow you to use both the old book at my table and the new book at my table.
Yeah.
The tables, we're going to have to pick one. And if we want to go, so everybody's going to have to buy the new one if we decide to use the new rules.
I don't say everybody has to buy. At least 1 or 2 players would hopefully have it. But with the new book, if it's a new edition, yes, I will buy it because I would rather play a new edition. Why am I shelling out money for a reprint? That's a big issue people have with Magic the Gathering right now is the reprints on some of these cards that they're doing and stuff like that. They're just devaluing old cards. Because there's not backwards compatibility there's not a whole lot of backwards compatibility in Magic the Gathering. Cards just phase out over time that they can't be played anymore, but they're reprinting them. And now it's the value of these older cards are going down, but it seems like they're just trying to reprint 5e and get the same money. And now you're lowering the value of this new one and the old one instead of making a new edition. If they make it a new edition, I'll probably definitely buy the books because I want to be able to play the new edition. I like some of the changes that are coming out with this new edition. What I don't like is the idea of like, we're just going to do 5e. I don't like that. Like, why am I going to buy new stuff when I can just buy the old stuff? Or I already have the old stuff. I don't buy a whole lot of the books that come out as it is. I only buy books that appeal to me, which are usually more player-based books. For the most part, I have a few extra DM books, but I like a lot of what's in the monster manual. I like a lot of what's in the in Mordecai's Tome of Foes. I got a couple others that I have that I like too. So
and there's still a lot of other undecided factors too. Like the rumor is that you'll get a digital copy with the hard copy for D&D Beyond. If something like that is true for the same price, and you're somebody who uses D&D Beyond, to get that digital copy already loaded into your D&D, it might be worth it to go ahead and buy because if you use D&D Beyond now and don't have the player's handbook on D&D Beyond already, to get it loaded in, you basically have to pay full cover price right now.
Yeah.
Go back and buy another copy of a book you already have. Whereas this would give you it, and that's if they do that. They may not do that. They may keep it separate still.
That could mess with the resale value, though.
No,
yes,
because since they own it, they're going to make the money regardless. I think the question too is like, if I buy it digitally, like how well does it like carry over? Like I know you can do like character sheets; it'll help you generate character sheets based off what you have. But I don't really need. Like I want to be able to, like let's say if I had an iPad, I think the technology can't. I've kind of changed my stance in the past. I think technology can be good for certain stances. And I think if you're doing stuff off like a tablet or something like that, like a DM having a tablet behind the table to kind of help quick search and stuff like that, like how well does like is D&D gonna have is D&D and Beyond gonna have an app that it has all my books already in there and I can just click on the book I need?
Yeah, it has that now.
Okay, so it does have that now. I haven't really
Yeah,
messed with
it's
D&D
just
Beyond.
you would have to rebuy your monster manual, player handbook to get the full to get more than the what's that called? There's the free version that came out as a PDF that had like some of the basic classes in basic. Like it had one subclass for each class.
I can download.
There is free stuff on there you can get too.
The SRD.
The SRD, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, see,
but if you want more than the SRD, you have to rebuy access to the stuff that is in your player's handbook already that you already own.
So,
however, with the new edition or whatever this new D&D, what was once called D&D 1, if you buy the new one and it automatically gives you that access in D&D Beyond, that might be worth it if you're somebody who uses D&D Beyond.
So I'm gonna go.
We had all bought our books ahead of time before D&D Beyond ever came out, so most of us never invested in D&D Beyond.
Yeah, and so that's the crappy thing too, right there. Is like it doesn't benefit the older players. So let's go with this. I'm gonna go with allegedly. Let's say we allegedly quotations right here allegedly. Right, I'm not doing this. I find a free version on the internet and I download it. I can go and add my personal bookmarks to things and stuff like that. Like I don't know. I haven't messed with the D&D Beyond app, and I just don't feel by now. Honestly, I think D&D, like, and I get it, you're not going to make the money off this, but I think Wizard should come off of it. And when you sign up for a D&D Beyond account, at least give you the 3 basic books: the player's guide, player's handbook, the DM's guide, and the monster manual.
If you sign up for a paid there's also where you pay.
I'm not doing a subscription to anything. Yeah. I'm tired of subscriptions. I want to own my stuff.
Because that's the other way you can get all this stuff, all kinds of stuff for D&D Beyond for free if you do the subscription model.
I am tired.
Which they also support.
I am tired of not owning things. I am tired of buying into. I have paid more in subscriptions to so many different things that I should have owned stuff 10 times over, and I'm getting really tired of everybody like subscribe to us. No, give me the option to buy it. Well, you see, when it happened, it's going to be like $60. You're like, I hate you right now, because over the term of a month. Over a term of like 4 or 5 months, you end up paying what you would have paid for just the book outright. So I'm tired of these subscription things. And
again, that's why we have never adopted the D&D Beyond. Now, if they want to give us free accounts and pay to advertise on the show, we'll try it out and get.
We've been shouting them out a bunch. It's better than the other guys that we're not allowed to shout out yet because they haven't paid for us, and it's their bad.
And honestly, that's why you see so many of these streamers who use the D&D Beyond as their marketing team has done a very good job of going to these podcasts, people who play online, and basically give them a free account on D&D Beyond to use on their podcast. And all of a sudden, it seems like that's the best, greatest thing. You don't need that. There's other there's other tools out there that work just as well.
I'm not.
They're just
if I'm
good
gonna
at
buy,
advertising themselves.
Yeah, if I'm gonna buy this book, like I said, the biggest thing is it going to be a new edition? If it's a new edition, I want to buy it. I want to be able to play the new edition. I do like the changes. I just don't want to buy something that I already have again. I think that was my big issue with Tasha's. Tasha's was kind of like, granted, it went in and fixed things, but there was quite a bit of it that was kind of like a reprint to refix things. And there's a few books out there that are starting to do that, where it's like, we're just going to fix what we did over here. Don't mind that. That's okay. And I just like, why am I buying this again? I can just, I see the changes that you made. I'm just going to make them in mine. I'm going to make those notes and stuff like that. That's where I'm going to be at.
Yeah. And, because we do this podcast, I will probably wind up buying a copy of it, especially with how much time and effort I've put into the 1D surveys and play tests.
It's not 1D&D. Say it right.
Yeah.
Say it right. Go on. Fix your sentence.
5E 2024.
No, I'm going to throw. You're lucky I can't throw something at you. Say it right.
Officially, that's what it is.
I don't care what they said. What are we calling it?
I would personally call it 5.5e myself.
I'd
You
say
call it 6e.
I call it 6D. It's 6D. It's D&D 6th edition. I think buying, like I said, buying it, I have no issues with buying it. I've actually been meeting quite a few people up here where I live that they want to play, and I was like, well, I could be a DM. I don't mind that. I definitely want to be able to play too. But the issue I think that I have with a lot of it is if I don't want to buy something that I already have. Again, I hate doing that. Like I hate anybody ever do that where you buy something and you're like, you go out, let's say an extension cord for an example. Like I know I've got the extension cord or a phone.
You know what's going to happen though, is when this new one comes out, they're going to stop selling the old one.
Yeah, I'll be able to find back issues though.
Yeah, but then as new people come in, the new people are going to buy the new one. And as time progresses, you're going to have more people who have the new book than have the old book. And if you got to make a decision which one your table's going to use.
You're ready for this one? Let me go with allegedly again. I'm going to find my allegedly free copy on the internet and use this. I'll pay for printing on that one. Like it's just, to me, I don't see people rushing out to buy this one. I really don't. I do not see people rushing out to buy this new edition because the changes in it aren't that. If they were to leave them alone from not this last playtest, but the playtest before, I think people would have bought them. But I think in this new one, where now they're trying to revert it back and make it compatible with 5e instead of just making its own thing, I think nobody's going to buy it. There were really good changes. I really do. Huh.
Yeah, and I don't know of anything so far that is so, I've got to have that.
Yeah, that's a big thing too. There's nothing in it that's been like
the new race species thing, where you can basically they got rid of the half elf and the half whatever's, half orc, half elves, and they're only the full. And if you want to make a half, they have new rules for blending. That if you're looking to make a half orc, half dwarf, maybe having rules for that might be enough for you to go buy this book.
Yeah, but couldn't you, like, honestly, I think if you work it out with your DM, you could probably
pull that off the internet if that's all you wanted.
So it's an argument right there, and they can't stop you. That's the thing that's going to really hurt them, is right there. They really can't stop you from like doing homebrew stuff. And that's what's gonna kill their sales. So if they don't actually give the player what they want, they're just gonna homebrew it, and then their sales are really gonna tank. So they really have to get up off their high horse on this one and just listen to the players.
Yeah, but I have yet to see a class change that was so great that I said, yeah, I got to play this version instead.
The original new Bard, I think, would have been a great one. I wouldn't have mind playing that just because it's not the Bard that we have right now. So, alrighty, guys, I think that's it for this episode. It's been really fun. Big shout out to our sponsor, the Red Dragon Workshop. You guys can go over to their Facebook page. It's Red Dragon Workshop. Go check it, take a look at their stuff. Message them, tell them Chef Bolgg and the Pirate Captain sent you. Make sure you go over to our Facebook page, our Twitter, everything. It's Chef Bolgg and the Pirate Captains. You can just find us by searching that. If you have any gripes, bitches, complaints, email us at BolgandPC. We definitely love to hear from you. Anything else, guys?
Yeah, I do want to show the people at home that I'm not just bullshitting. I made bread. The hat is there. I've got catfish sitting in the fridge, ready to cook up later. So don't make that face. Catfish is good.
Catfish is great.
Creole catfish with Cajun shrimp. Come on now.
I didn't grow up on saltwater, just eat catfish, garbage eating fish. Anything else there, Luke the Bard?
No, I'm a complete fraud. I don't do anything Bard-like in real life.
I know. Anything, Mr. Producer?
I think I'm set.
All righty. Well, that being said, it's time to say goodbye, guys. Say goodbye, Bolgg.
Goodbye, Bolgg.
Say goodbye, Luke.
See ya.
Say goodbye, Mr. Producer.
Later, guys.
See you guys.
You've been listening to Chef Bolgg and the Pirate Captain's Recipes for Everything, featuring Loke the Bard. Like, follow, subscribe, and share this podcast. You can also find them on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Just search for Chef Bolgg and the Pirate Captain's Recipes for Everything. Questions, comments, and mutiny requests can be sent to bolgandpc@gmail.com. And as always, happy adventures.